This morning, a female colleague confessed her love and said if the uncle is willing, she can marry him anytime. The daughter inadvertently found out from her boyfriend that he has someone else in his heart, and the younger brother learned that their mother is seriously ill. Although leading an easy life, the younger brother fears scolding and silently asks his brother-in-law to visit their mother with him. Meanwhile, the uncle is troubled by his wife's silence, and now he has a good excuse to go find her and explain. He hurriedly found Xiao Hui and told her about the mother's illness, suggesting to go back home, but Xiao Hui felt too embarrassed. In fact, Xiao Hui cares a lot about her mother. That night, her mom noticed this and poured her some milk. While drinking beer, her mother chatted and encouraged Xiao Hui to go back home, so she wouldn't regret it. She shared her own regrets with Xiao Hui, hoping she wouldn't end up regretting like herself. After her mother's persuasion, Xiao Hui finally decided to go back home, and her cousin came to welcome them. As Xiao Hui stepped inside her home, she sensed that everything had changed. She truly hadn't it. Xiao Hui, there are so many Xiao Huis. Let me count them and see how many we have. Upon returning home, Xiao Hui excitedly shouted her own name, as if saying, "Oh wow, what a journey it's been, I finally made it." Seeing her elderly mother suffering from dementia, Xiao Hui was fully convinced that her mum wouldn't recognize her anymore. Yet to her astonishment, she heard her mother call out her name. In the evening, relatives were gathered around the table for dinner, yet the overall atmosphere was somewhat constrained and tense. Yoli was criticized for being lazy, but she believed she was following her passion for comics. She angrily retorted, "Why make unfounded accusations that I am a liar and a fraud?" After a fierce argument, Yoli left in a huff. Yoli realized it was her fault. Her dream as a comic artist was crushed, and her friends left one by one. She spent every day drinking to pass the time. When her sister was alive, even in her worst moments, she always found comfort, and now, with nothing left, she didn't know what value she had in living. The dead version of me is better than the living one. That phrase finally flicked a switch in her. Her dear sister, who had always taken meticulous care of her, Yoli found it utterly impossible to reconcile herself to the harsh reality of her sister's passing away. Yoli proactively admitted her mistakes, hoping her family would give her some time to reorganize her life. At night, her daughter worried about her boyfriend, and Xiao Hui encouraged her not to give up easily. There might be a miracle. The next day, the daughter found her boyfriend had bravely confessed her love. "I have a crush on Renji, and you simply cannot refuse me." "I'm sorry," the uncle said while trying to reject Miss Shui's affection. He said his heart belonged only to his late wife, leaving no room for others. On the lively New Year's Eve, both households went to a temple together to sincerely pray for blessings, but unexpectedly encountered a tavern owner who was in a great hurry. This unassuming tavern owner actually has spiritual abilities, silently helping the wandering souls. The customer's grandmother missed her grandson and asked the owner to convey that she would always be with him. The newly deceased father also reminded his son to work hard, and even a deceased dog wanted to return to its owner. However, when the owner saw one leave his spirit, he looked sad and walked away silently. As the New Year bells rang, a little girl suddenly fainted, causing chaos. "Mike, please hurry and help. Step aside. Mike, are you okay? Did you get hurt? How can one possibly take only his soul?" The little girl turned back to look at her mother, and while running away, accidentally bumped into the tavern owner. She fainted again, and the uncle quickly carried Xiao Hui aside to carefully arrange for her to rest. At this moment, the owner turned around and saw his wife Xiao Hui, who had been deceased for 10 years. After returning home, Xiao felt something was off. Everyone was home. The next day, when the little girl woke up as her daughter, she could instantly recognize by her voice that Mom had returned. She rushed forward to hug the little girl as if to confirm, what an adventure on the way home. Mom firmly believed that last night, for a moment, she saw her child's figure, but didn't tell Xiao. Upon returning, Yoli heard her brother-in-law's strange tales, realizing her sister's experience mirrored Chine's. Yoli thought maybe she could find answers there, so she planned to call her girlfriend. But when she called, it turned out to be a disconnected number. That night, the uncle flipped through Chine's novel and felt like he'd seen it all before. He wanted to learn more about it personally, so the next day, they attended Chine's book signing event. He intended to personally hand Chine the letter that he had already prepared in advance. However, he was stopped by a staff member who was nearby. So it was Yoli's turn to take the stage, directly asking Chine to meet, but she completely ignored her. Chine merely scribbled a brief signature on the comic book, which made Yoli feel extremely frustrated and dissatisfied. At that moment, Mai noticed Chine's handwriting in the book and asked them to meet her at an underground cafe.